Hola, peoples. Hello, my friends. We are here today to actually have a lot of fun. And this segment, I guess, we're going to call Tarot and the Deviants. And this week we're talking about Samhain Witchery. And we have an amazing guest, Melissa, the Dreadful Mystic.
Right. How's everybody? Hello.
Awesome. So tonight we're going to talk about the tarot. Although some people say tarot, like tarot. I say tarot. I got in like this huge argument with. I'm totally going off topic already. I got into this huge argument one time with this group of tarot readers. We had like this. It was like a meetup, and they kept saying you have to pronounce it tarot, because if you don't pronounce it tarot, you're actually not an actual reader. You can't you can't actually do this if you don't say tarot. I'm like, tarot. If you think I'm ghetto if I say tarot, if it's wrong, I don't care, but I'm not gonna say it tarot. And they would like, every time they said the word, I don't know why I'm sharing this, but every time they would say it, they would like beat up and like tarot, like they were some sort of royalty. I'm like, whatever floats your boat, honey, it's fine.
They would love my dad. He's really country. So he says, oh, those are your tarot cards over there.
That's awesome. Yeah, so basically what we're going to do is talk cards and Samhain. We have two formulas, two recipes that we will share with you tonight. If you do have any questions, I can't promise that we'll be able to get to any of them or whatever, but definitely ask them and we'll do our best to answer what we can if we get to it. But yes, let's talk cards. Are you excited to be here? Are you gonna have fun? Are you nervous?
I don't know. I was way more nervous earlier. Now I'm just kind of like, woohoo, tarot.
Yay, cards.
See, these are so pretty. And they're new. So I like them.
I know. Those are super cute. I think I'm going to get that deck. What deck is it again?
The Raven's Prophecy. And it is awesome. And look at the book that comes with it. This is like not some little bitty tiny thing.
That thing is huge.
I know. And she really goes into why, as far as the illustrations and whatnot. And I believe she illustrated it as well as, most people hire an artist and she just illustrated it herself.
I would totally hire an artist because I can't.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, and she really goes into detail, and I love how she explains why she chose certain things to represent certain aspects of the tarot. It's pretty cool.
I really have to get that damn deck. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I have to buy it. We were talking. I mean, you mentioned to me was it last week that we were talking about? Yeah, you're like, I want to do like a show, get some other people on, but I don't know. And I'm like, oh, let's do it. And then we decided, like, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. I'm like, what do we like? We like the cards. We love cards. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we decided to share some more, specific knowledge, specific, whatever information that we have gained and we have, researched, whatever, and bring that to you. And that's where this is. We're deviant and we love our cards. So yes, I guess I can talk about my little formula and save yours for last because I like yours. I like what you were talking about.
Thanks.
So
thank you.
I love using tarot. I use tarot in spells. I use tarot in a lot of the workings that I do. I will use a card, more than one card. I'll use their energy. Sometimes what I'll do as well is take a printout of a card, and I have a really effective success spell that utilizes a few tarot cards printed on top of each other, and I charge it. I burn it, actually use it, and I burn a lot of my images and use the ash in a lot of like different herbal blends. But that's what I'll do sometimes is I'll take the card, print it out, and use that instead of the actual card if I need to like burn it or if I need to use it, like if it's gonna get like messy, like you put in a jar that has like liquid, anything like that. I also, like, I do crystal grids. We've talked about crystal grids on different shows. I will use, again, the cards to charge. So I will actually, and most times when I'm using, like, different tarot cards to charge my workings, I will put a quartz. Do I have one? I do. Of course I have one. A quartz, like, crystal.
Oh,
I will set it down. And I'll like put the card laying against it so it stands up. And so you have all these different cards like around your working, around the, like in this case, the oil that we'd be making. And I would get, do I have another one? He said, do. I will get like another, like a crystal point, and I will network them. I will connect them in energy. And I'll connect them to each other, and then I would connect them to the actual blend. So all the energy is connected, and then it's being pushed into, you know, that blend.
That's a really good idea, setting them up with crystals, propping them with crystals. That's awesome.
Yeah, because, and especially with quartz crystal, because, or you can use any crystal that, you know, would suit your need, but quartz helps to like really amplify and project. So I like putting like, I visualize it like that quartz is pushing its energy, raising its energy, and pushing it through the card, activating the card's energy even more, and pouring that essence into the work. And that has been really, it's worked really well for me. So yeah, I love doing work with the cards. The blend, it's really so simple. It's so dumb. It's so simple. I use this. This is one of it's. I have a blend that's a little more complex that I use as well. But this, I figured it was a little easier, and we can talk about it. But I use this to communicate with like the dead, to communicate with spirits, and you can customize it for if you need to, you know, contact like a specific type of spirit. If you need to contact a specific actual individual spirit. So I should have brought my, let's get an oil bottle. We'll do this one. What I do first usually is I'll get my dry ingredients. I have my mortar and pestle, and I'll like, oh, it's right here. Oh, no, not that one. Anyways, I'll grind it all up. I have, I love using dittany. I love using dittany when I communicate with the spirits. For some reason, I've always, like, I just love how it feels. It's weird. And when you look at it, like, you kind of think, is that moldy? Is it, what's wrong with it? It's like all fuzzy, but it smells wonderful. Dittany of Crete, I use that. I'll put that in. And I don't, this is bad. For business, I do measure, but if I'm using it for personal use, I just kind of go by what I feel. And even in business workings, like when I'm selling products, sometimes I will add more depending on what I feel is needed at that time for that individual or for that group of products. So I'll put dittany in there, and then I will use bay. Bay is really good for like, I like using bay because it's good for psychic exploration. It's great for like wishes, and it's great for bringing like this good energy to the mix. So when you use bay with this, it helps to kind of open your psychic eye, open that connection, and also bring to you like, you know, it connects with the dittany and helps bring to you like the positive connection with the spirit that you're working with. If this would be a good time, like if you're gonna like specifically tailor it for someone, I like to write the name of the individual that I want to talk to on here. Or like if it's a specific type, like a set, you know, category of spirits that you want to talk to, you could do that as well. And then I'll put that in, ground it up, you know, do your thing. I love using cinnamon, especially a little bit of cinnamon. I use a lot of cinnamon in a lot of like psychic work I do, but in this I use just just a tad. You could use a full stick if you want, depending on how much you make. I use usually like half a stick of cinnamon, and I grind it up. I love grinding cinnamon. It smells so great, and it's so beautiful. I just love my cinnamon. Another thing I do is I add datura to my working. Some people don't like to work with datura. Datura can be very mean, but if you actually open up to datura, it helps you travel. It helps you connect. It has this essence that's just like no other. I connect really well with it. Like I love working with datura, and so I will add that to the blend. I grind it all up. I put it aside, and then I get my little oil container. And what I'll do is I get bay essential oil. I'll put it in there. Sometimes what I'll do is add like a drop of cinnamon, just because I love how it smells, and the essential oil of cinnamon, it really like it ties everything together. It helps pull everything that you're doing into one. I like that. And that's it. Like I have other oils I put in there sometimes, but those two plus your carrier oil, add your dry ingredients. You got it good. And then this is the fun part. I got a lot of the cards I like. Sometimes you can charge it with Justice. And this is the Deviant Moon, the borderless. Do you have this deck?
I don't have that deck, but I have looked at it over and over, and like, I don't know why I haven't bought it yet. I know. I have several times been like walked up to the register with it and then got something else.
What?
I
am so addicted to we're traveling off, but it's fine. I'm like addicted to this deck. Like when he came out with the deck, I think I ordered 3 copies of his original with the borders, and then when he came out with this one, I ordered like 3 again. So I love it. I don't know what about this deck. I love how it is. But I'll use Justice sometimes to kind of keep everything in place. Especially I'll work with the Justice card. And this is my personal connection. Like I'll work with the Justice card if I know that like the spirits that I'm working with are a little they can get out of hand. If I need more like organization, that's another card that we can talk about as well. But Justice for me in this like respect, especially dealing with spirits, I like, because it's like, no, you're gonna keep in line. You're not gonna get out of line. I'm gonna bring you here. We're gonna keep it on the same playing field.
Justice is great like that. It can be a very powerful, keep your ass in line kind of card.
I like that. Yes, absolutely. Because especially with spirits, you don't know how they're going to go. They can go one way or the other. It doesn't matter if you know them, especially it's like grandma. Grandma can be nice one day. She can be like a total raging bitch the next. You never know. At least be like, keep yourself in check, Grams.
Right.
And so that when you're charging your blends, that helps so much, because that kind of keeps all those energies that you're going to be communicating with in check. We can talk about that later. I actually love the Hangman.
Oh, it's so crazy. I just saw that in my deck just now because I'm just sort of looking through it.
I love the Hangman just because the Hanged Man, well, obviously he's hanging there. He's not really going anywhere, so he knows that he has no other choice than to be still, to be present in that moment. And when you're basically hanging there, you have time to really contemplate. You have time to project yourself. You have time to find out what you need to find out before you move on. So you can actually sit there and contemplate the future. You can sit there and connect with those spirits, because you're being forced to look at your present situation and what you're going to do about it. So I really enjoy using that to charge the formula, because you need assistance in basically staying where you are. You need that help to stay put. Like, so, and sometimes people like to like, they just go all over the goddamn place. They're everywhere. So the hangman is like, nope, you're not going anywhere. You are going to be forced to deal with this. And some people kind of need that. So when I make that formula, it's like, sorry, but if you're going to use this, you're going to be forced to connect. Like, you have nowhere to go. You have to. And that kind of goes with, the individual using it, as well as, the spirit that eventually they call or work with.
And sometimes you need that extra boost because it can be kind of nerve-wracking to connect with certain energies, especially if you're not familiar or you haven't worked with them, at all, or very rarely.
Yeah, absolutely. It does give you like that confidence boost too.
Right.
Because you're right. Yeah, I like that. See, I'm telling you, like, now my computer's trying to. You have to scan for this and this and this. Postpone or scan now. No, we are postponing. All the time. All the time. We can talk about these later. This right here.
Devil.
I really like, I love his version of the devil. I just love the coloring.
I like that card. That's awesome.
I want it as a tattoo. I really do. I love this. I love it. I like working with this card because my relationship with, what people call the devil, is entirely different. But the connection with the card is, the devil's all about like physical, like being here, being in the now. And also it's kind of like a controlling card too. So when you are working with spirit, you kind of have to be fluid. You do have to be open to them, but you also have to be the witch that is like in control. Because if you lose control, then you kind of open yourself up for, being taken advantage of, for other things to come in and like dominate the situation. So if you utilize the devil card to charge your formula, it helps to basically inspire you to give you that extra confidence to make sure that you're in control of your physical body. Because some people, again, when they communicate with spirit, they think that they're going to get possessed, which is possible. I'm not going to say it's not, but they think that they're, something's going to step in or they're going to leave their body, and it's not, there's things that are going to happen that they're not in control of. The devil card helps you to be focused in your body, but still doing what you need to do. And also it expresses this form of control over the situation.
Right. And even when you're working with spirits that like whenever I'm working with my ancestors, I'll take blessing oil and put some on my forehead because I'm related to them. I know them. That doesn't mean they wouldn't love to jump in and,
right.
And do their things they miss and love.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's almost even more important to do it, especially when it's like familial, because they're like, oh, they don't care. They're family. They'll let me do it,
Exactly.
And they kind of have, they do kind of have a little more of that because you're so connected that they're just like, oh, let's just do this. Like, no. No.
No, Grandma, we're not going to the strip club. I'm staying right here. Or whatever.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. So there's a lot of different cards. I know we'll talk about this card when I think you're going to mention that card. We talked about that earlier. The moon, I like. Some people think, it can be depressing, the moon, different like depressive nature. But I enjoy utilizing the moon here because they kind of they're like puppets, the moon's controlling them. The moon has a huge influence on us as witches, the moon has like this intense influence on how we work. So the moon definitely is a huge psychic, influence. It's a huge power for us. So when you utilize this card, it can boost that. It has the ability to boost that. It has the, power to help ignite that psychic connection. And also if you utilize it right, I hate that it's so glary. If you utilize it right, you can basically become the one in charge. The blend helps you to connect and communicate. Charging with the moon card allows you, again, there's a lot of theme here, allows you to dominate and become, basically you're the puppet master. You're the one seeking communication. You're the one in control. You're the one wanting to do all of this. So that's kind of how I utilize the moon card when I'm like charging this formula.
Oh, definitely. Not to mention, like, if you're wanting to find out some big secret or some information that's hidden from you, the moon is great for that too.
Yeah.
It reveals everything hidden in the shadows.
I like that. That's funny. That's funny too, because I don't like the spirits that I've worked with and the individuals that I've talked with. They're so gossipy. They like to chat. Not gossipy like they talk shit, but they like to chat. They like to talk. They talk shit too, but they have their secrets. And it's kind of funny. I feel like spirits, when they talk, they play poker with different secrets. And so like they have these different things, and they have these, these cards, like they're poker chips, whatever. And they're playing, this game because what else do they have to do? They have a lot of things to do, but they're still in spirit form, so might as well make it interesting. So you can definitely, that moon card in the blend will help charge your work to, again, kind of like entice the spirits and say, reveal to me your secrets, show me. I like that. What else? This card. This is Death.
I like that.
This is a pretty neat card, and he doesn't like name, like the other ones are named, but he does not name Death. It's hard to see.
That's so neat.
I really like this card. Like I really like the deck. Like I love it.
That is really cool. I love that.
I enjoy working with Death, and this Death, like you can tell, like the stomach, it's like it's pregnant, like there's something
exactly
brewing inside, what is it? I don't know, but I enjoy utilizing the Death card in a lot of, and like in this work, at least in charging this card, because it can open the gate, it creates change. It opens the gate, opens the doors for, change, for exploring something, for a lot of new things to happen. And when you're working with the death.
Exactly.
I mean, you want to get like very, very, obvious here. Death card, death imagery. You're working with the dead. Death.
Exactly.
But I love that because it's like death and life, they're so intertwined. That card produces that, and so I'll utilize that when I charge this. And sometimes, again, sometimes I will take all the cards that I use to charge the blend, I will print them out like one on top of the other. I will charge that, I will burn it, and I will blend that with my herbs, and I'll put that in the oil.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Let's talk about, that's the formula that I have, and that's really good. And that's really good for spirit communication. That's really good, especially mostly for like very physical or spirits that are really here, present on the physical plane. So like, grandma passed away, very earthly spirits, I would say. There's different blends that you could utilize to kind of connect with like higher, and I don't mean higher like in better, but just higher frequency, higher vibration, like energies, like your spirit guides or whatever. There's different formulas that you can use. You could definitely use this, but this one's more, it brings you here. It brings it more like physical on the earthly plane. So it has a different feel. You'd want to shift it or alter it if you want to connect with something that's a little more like a higher guide or something like that.
Well, that's cool, because what you did, and is, like you said, more physical, and what I'm going to talk about can be used more for the higher entity. Can be.
I like it.
So I guess what I wanted to talk about is more of something you could kind of add to a Samhain ritual, or if you're like me and work with your ancestors all the time, because I work with my ancestors, I have a permanent ancestral altar, so you can use it anytime. You know, you feel, because I don't know, for me sometimes there'll be times when I just feel like I'm not really hearing what they have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe there's a new person involved. My dog is just being retarded. She is so mad. She's like, I want to be here. But there are times when I just can't, I don't know, hear them as well, or I feel like I'm not as connected, or like it's, you know what I mean? Yeah, I feel sort of a distance sometimes.
Yes.
And so this kind of helps, and I use the Hierophant card.
No, I like that card.
I just love it. And, you know, and a lot of people, I think this card is sort of underutilized in tarot. You don't ever really hear about it a lot in a lot of spell workings or anything like that. Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
The Hierophant, yeah.
Hierophant. And I mean, I know personally it's not a card that comes up for me just a whole bunch in just regular readings. But the Hierophant is ancient. To me, is ancient magic, you know, an authority figure kind of in cultural magic. And so sort of passes down the knowledge generation to generation. In fact, that is why this is a lantern, because it's something that's easy to pass down from hand to hand.
I like it.
I thought that was pretty cool too. So on Samhain, or like I said, you can use it anytime, but especially on Samhain, or like this last night was the full moon, and I did this last night as well. But I have, of course, I have candles all over my ancestral altar, but I have one candle that I consider the main candle. You know, it's just one of those white jar 7-day candles that I like to use. And so I will light that candle, call my ancestors forth, and everyone should have an idea of how to do that, I think. But, you know, if you don't, it's like, you know, I say stuff like, you know, usually I'm like, hey, Grandma. I know I'm pretty much by name. But when I first started out, it would be something really official, like I'm calling the blood of my blood, those known and unknown to me in life and in death, things like that. And I will use, I guess, the energy of the Hierophant to guide me to where I need to be. You know, because that is his purpose. You know, he'll guide you. And you can use other cards too. That's my favorite one. And I will even leave this card on my altar throughout, like, Samhain, just as a connector, you know. So you can use that. And also, the Three of Cups is another good card. It's about relationships. You know, family and friendships.
I like that card. Yes, and it's funny because we were talking about that earlier. Like, I don't have all majors, and yeah, Three of Cups I like. That's perfect.
That's a good one. Of course, you said death, and this is the death card, which death obviously will lead you to the dead. You know, isn't that neat?
I love that card. I like it.
That's so cool. And, you know, you're talking about the Hanged Man, and that's, see that? Isn't that neat? And you can utilize there's so many cards you can utilize whenever you're working with, you know, trying to connect to your ancestors. You were talking about justice earlier. That's the Justice card.
I like
to keep those pesky relatives in line, because even though they love you, they do get a little wild. And I mean, come on, they don't have anything else to do, and people don't really talk to their passed on loved ones like they used to. So you gotta think, the people they're gonna talk to them, they're gonna want to mess with because they're bored. You know, I'm sure they're bored. So, and the star too is another good card that you can utilize to guide your way. I thought this was really pretty.
That is super pretty.
So, but that's what I do, and I just use that as mainly in a ritual type situation. But like I said, you use it for any time like you have issues, especially if it's family and blood related issues, like someone in your family's having a hard time or whatever. I will definitely call upon stuff like that to and use the Hierophant card to strengthen that connection and be like, hey, what can we do to help out the family or what have you.
Right. I like that. I like the Hierophant card because, like, it reminds me of, like, the gatekeeper, the keeper of the gate, you know, who is, like, allows entrance into the other. So you have to kind of connect and get, you know, almost get permission to enter into different spaces. And so when you're wanting to connect, I like this card because it's like he knows everything in a sense. Like, he knows what's going on. So he has this organization about him. Like, he can direct you, like you said, guide you. But he has more of like this authority figure, you know, this authoritative energy to promote. So I like that.
Definitely. I've always thought the Hierophant and Justice sort of go hand in hand because they both have that very follow the rules and do what I tell you kind of energy about them, you know?
Yes.
Sort of like, I know what I'm doing and you're the novice. I don't care how long you've been doing it, so listen to me and don't step out of line kind of thing.
Which I totally just got some information on the site, whatever. But which is really good when you're doing this work because especially when you're new, even when you're not new, you can take certain things for granted. But when you are working with spirits, when you are doing all this stuff, you really do have to follow a certain protocol because it's easy to be tricked, especially when you're young. And when I say young, I don't mean like 10, but just when you are a young practitioner, you don't know what you're doing. This is new to you. So especially when you are new at this, it's easy to want it so much and be invested so much into it that you are like, ooh, I got a connection, I got a hit, and just you start believing everything that's being said. You don't practice proper discernment. Working with the Hierophant and Justice will allow you and will help you bring in that discernment energy, and it will help you to like stay on track, which you really need to do, especially when you're first starting out to develop.
Definitely, because the dead they can be tricked as easily as you can. They can pass on bad information and not realize it's bad information.
Yeah,
so you have to have that discernment. So yeah, you have to have that discernment.
I like that. Yeah, it's like again, like they might get together, they might be talking to someone, and they're playing, like I said earlier, like the poker sort of scenario. They release some information, another spirit picks it up, so you definitely have to utilize that the influence, the power of proper discernment for sure. Yes, what's funny is like a card I have pulled out that I didn't post is a card that I'm sure most people would assume would be my first go-to.
The High Priestess.
The High Priestess. Yeah. She's really not. Like, I like her energy, but I don't really consider her more of a bitch. Than I do. Like, she knows a lot, and she's definitely psychic, but I don't really consider her someone I would really go to if I needed to connect with the dead.
Talk to the dead. Yeah. She does it. She's more, I don't know, life. When I think of her, I think more of spring and summer. I don't think fall and winter. And so I connect her with those energies more than I do with fall and winter energies. So
I feel like if you go to her without proper reason, like, she's like, why are you bothering me?
Right. Exactly.
Because she's the High Priestess. Like, she has other things that she has to take care of. She's like, you have other cards in this deck that you could use to connect, that they're there for you for that reason. don't come to me with this bullshit. Like, I have things to do.
Right.
Bother someone else. Like, you know, that's what she's a bitch. Like, that's the energy that I get from her. And while she can do it, like, and I guess I would use it depending on circumstance, but I don't go to her for that stuff. Like, I will not go to her for that, because she will bite. She will freaking attack, and with reason, because she has a lot of things invested elsewhere. So it's like, don't go to her for something that she's not really there for you for.
Exactly. You know, she's, I don't know, like you said, she's the type that I only petition her when I really feel like I need her. And it usually has something to do with some sort of spell work that I just am not grasping like I should, or I feel like needs something else and I just can't grab that one last ingredient. And I'll go to her for that. You know, but I'm going to, you know, that's only like a last, you know, resort. Like, I haven't been able to find it anywhere else, so now I'm coming to you. I did my research first, Mom, I promise. You know, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a little question. Someone asked basically, what card or cards would you use to have a better connection with spirit animals?
Huh. That's a good question, because I don't know. I don't know. What card would you use? I think it would depend on a deck, really, for me, as far as connection with animals, because there's nothing that just hollers out. Maybe the King of Pentacles, because he has a lot to do with husbandry.
Or even,
you know, the earth energy.
Yeah. Even like possibly like connect that with the Empress.
Yeah.
Because the Empress, she's always having all these damn little things next to her, like all these damn birds or whatever.
Right.
The animals.
A lot of animals.
Mm-hmm. So possibly that. But honestly, okay, and this is, I guess, when you're working with the tarot and you are working with the tarot to charge or to cast, my advice or my tip would be to go through the deck with your intent. Like, focus on, like, you want to connect with the animal spirit. Go through the deck, and I teach this to my students. Like, go through the deck, look for a card that represents where you are. Take it out. Look for a card that represents where, you know, you want to be, or what represent, like, a card or cards that represent connecting with the spirit animal, and pick those out. Look at them, place them, meditate with them, and work with them. Because and this is really personal, because the tarot is very personal to people. They connect differently with different individuals. So go through it and connect with them. Like, ask the question and look through the deck, look through the imagery, feel it out, and you will have the answer. But I'd probably, if you're for any spirit work, I'd probably utilize, for me personally, I would utilize the death card, just because I like using or working with the death card when I want to kind of step through.
Right. But yeah, the Empress is really good. Like, this is the Empress card and the Raven Prophecy, which I think the Raven Prophecy deck would actually be a good deck to, like, connect with some, you know, animal spirits. There's a lot of animal artistry, you know, in the deck. But yeah, so it's just like a forest. I just love that, really.
That is.
That would be good.
I know there's so many, like, and all my, like, decks are different, you know, the different imagery, like you said, you have to kind of go through and connect with and see what stands out to you, and also understand why.
Exactly.
And that's kind of how I've gained so much insight when working with the cards, is because I have a lot of different decks. I'm not just a collector. I actually utilize every single deck that I buy. I meditate with them. I connect with them. I look at the different imagery, and I understand them. Like, I get to know them, and each deck, each interpretation, each, you know, aspect of every deck and their cards, it adds to like this whole understanding of the tarot, you know, as a whole. So I add all of these different meanings, all these different interpretations to that one card, and it's helped so much.
Yeah, and decks speak completely different. Each deck will have like a whole different accent. I don't know how to describe it. That's the way I'm sort of thinking though. But like each deck has just a completely different feel. Some of them will be really close. I've had a few decks that I could probably interchange and they would feel almost exactly the same. But some decks just have such a different, they say completely different things. So you can look at the same card from two different decks and you will get completely different meanings out of them.
Right.
Especially if you really pay attention to the imagery. Like, okay, I just have to show you this because this is my favorite card out of this deck so far.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Is that not the coolest thing ever? That's the Queen of Wands. And I just love it. Because the Queen of Wands has always been a very passionate card for me. I've always felt like just extremely, well, just like that, just fire on her lips kind of passionate person.
Right.
So, I thought that was cool. I just wanted to show you that.
Had
like, nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
Well, I mean, it kind of, what's funny is that reminds me of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes, yes.
I just took down, because we're at work, we had displays, and I just took down a huge display of Rocky Horror and a big ass list. I'm like, who wants this? I'm like, why do I keep looking at this damn? I've been all month, I've had this. I'm like, why do I keep looking at this picture? Like, okay, I don't want this. I'm like, someone wants to take this home, I'm gonna throw it away. And then you show that picture, I'm like, that's funny.
It is funny.
That is super funny. But
that's exactly what I thought of when I first saw that picture. I was like, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes. Another thing, like for Samhain, because this time is about connecting, about enjoying the spirits, about remembering, about really reminding yourself of who you are, reminding yourself, at least for me, it's about reminding yourself of who you are, reminding yourself and remembering where you come from, honoring that connection, honoring those feelings, which at times you kind of have to step into this role.
Definitely.
And I feel, and I really do feel so much lately like the Fool, because I have so many different things just started this month, in October.
Isn't it neat?
I like that. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Sort of
like
stupidly, that. Come on. I have no idea what's out there, but hit me with your best shot kind of deal.
Yes, I like that. So definitely the Fool is a great card to, work with during this time, because a lot of people, they say, Samhain is our new year. Samhain is when we begin. We end things and we start things. So the Fool is a great card to meditate with, so you can kind of travel and understand where you come from, and also have that, the foolishness to take that leap, to take that risk, to go. And also because the Fool trusts the process. The Fool knows in the end what he will become. Mm-hmm. So this is a leap that, all of us have to choose to take. And this is the perfect time to take it, because Samhain has this energy that definitely aligns with this card. And when you want to make change for yourself, when you want to do different things, when you want to connect with spirit, because I do know people who are terrified of connecting with spirit, you can definitely kind of connect with the Fool a little bit, and kind of build that craziness, build that understanding, and then have the crazy idea to just finally do it.
Right, just jump off the cliff and go. That's the great thing about the Fool. It's totally like just blind faith. You don't even stop and think about the consequences. You just jump on in. And sometimes you need that, especially people have there's such a stigma that surrounds working with people who passed on, with the dead, that people freak themselves out about it before they even know really what it is. And so the Fool just takes that away.
Right. I like that. It's like I don't know. I'm trying to. It reminds me of how very, very mildly, but like when I connect with Dionysus or Pan, releasing those inhibitions, the Fool does that in a very different way, though. Obviously, Dionysus is going to have more like of a primal, lustful, sexual release, like letting go of those inhibitions, whatever. The Fool is not so like specific in that way. So you can definitely use the Fool to kind of like let go and just kind of like just be calm and just jump, just go for it.
Exactly.
Which is perfect. Yeah. What else? Oh, this last I have one card left that I was gonna share for. I love this card.
Oh yes, I love that card. That's one of my favorite cards too. I love that card.
It's it's really good, especially again during Samhain, during this month. The belief that the veil is thinner creates it to be so. Everyone's thinking that all the spirits are here now and it's so easy to connect, so it makes it our reality. Which for mediums, for people who connect with spirit, we get all this, all this intensified energy, all these different spirits coming at you. I like the Two of Pentacles to kind of bring balance, but also to kind of dance and to kind of be in the flow. Like the Two of Pentacles here reminds me of being in that flow, owning what I have, knowing that I have these in my hands, that I have control. In the long run, I have control. And so you can kind of flow in and out and weave yourself within spirit, without, and all that. So it doesn't have such a huge, overwhelming sensation. Because you can see like this card, at least in this Jack, she is just like, she's moving. Like she has the moon's, down, shining down on her. She has the pentacles, one raised up, one's a little at eye level, kind of like looking at it, saying, hey, this is me. This is what I have to work with. I'm going with it.
Yeah, that's why I've always loved this card. And that's in this deck, it's coins instead of pentacles. I love that. And all the coins are roses, or a type of, flower. But also, to me, it keeps you just a little bit off balance enough for you to constantly pay attention. Yeah. Where you don't get so wrapped up in the movement, and that you have to keep focused on what you got going. You know what I mean? It's just you just have that, like, if you just move a little bit too fast, you're going to fall over. So you really have to pay attention to what you're doing. And to me, that helps a lot. Right.
And again, and you can see kind of like with this card, like the way her feet are, the way her body language is, like you can tell.
Yeah.
Like she's not fully balanced, but she is secure enough where she knows what she's doing. So I like that. And I like that the cards, like, you can still just look in the cards and you see it expressed.
Yeah, like even in this card, even though it doesn't hardly have anything on it, you have that one flower, I think it's this one over here, that's just slightly farther out than the other.
Yeah, and it's a little more prominent.
Like it could just fall over any minute if you're not watching. So I like that.
Yes. So we talked what we talked about. But Samhain is just so much fun, and like what I shared and what you shared, y'all can take and make it yours. But Samhain's about connecting, about remembering where you come from, and what you shared, with the different cards that you work with and how you do it. That's perfect for kind of stepping into that space, stepping into that honor, that honorary place, or honoring someone, your ancestors, utilizing those cards and that connection to really get that going for Samhain. you need to, build that relationship. So that was perfect. And then utilizing the formula that I share as well to take it even a little further and, complement each other, which is really funny because we didn't really talk about this. Like, we didn't really talk
at
about
all.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the cards we were going to share. We really didn't talk about much. We just said formulas and Samhain and tarot.
And go.
We'll figure it out. We'll just do what we do. But yeah, and the oil will help, get that deeper, like that connection with spirit. Like, you can utilize it to talk and bring to you. So that definitely, it flows well with each other. That was, and we talked a lot, about utilizing tarot to charge. Especially these cards, I feel, are very worthy of Samhain. The Devil, for obvious reasons. The Hierophant, Justice, all the cards that we talked about or that we shared a little bit about are definitely in sync with this time of year. But yeah, if anyone has any, before we shut this off, if anyone has any questions, go ahead and ask that while we finish up. Yeah, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. And tonight outside, I took a walk before we did this because I was just like, oh, that'll calm me down and stuff. And it's like all foggy outside and so Halloween-y, creepy. It's so cool outside right now. I did. The fog rolling in off the lake. It's just sort of like, oh, werewolf's going to come get me any moment now.
I'm jealous. I love that weather. Here, it was supposed to rain today. Mm-hmm. No, it didn't rain. It sprinkled enough to make my car hate me. But yeah, it did not rain. And someone asked about the different Deviant decks. I actually I prefer the original Deviant decks. He has different versions. I am not going to pronounce them because no. So, but I love the borderless. I love the how the imagery pops out. I love this. I love the one with borders too, don't get me wrong, but those are my two favorite out of all the different ones. I have them all and I like them and I'll keep them just because they support his work and I just love the artwork. I'm twisted, I guess, and I like it. It's just there's just something.
I like it. I think that's going to be my next deck, I guess. I inspired you to get a deck. Now you've inspired me to get another one.
Hey. But yeah, it's just I like it. I love it. And it wasn't so nervous. We did good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I liked it. I had fun.
Me too. So, okay, no questions. So, I guess, is there anything else that you'd like to say?
I can't think of anything else, really.
All right.
No, just have fun. Talk to your ancestors. Don't freak out and don't worry about. Oh, but I will reiterate that, I always use blessing oil. Don't be silly about it. Have some protection around it, even if it's your family. Your family can be devious.
Yes, probably add extra blessing oil if it's your family.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, thank you. I hope you all enjoyed the show. This is just the first. We don't know what we're gonna do with it yet. We're gonna have fun though. So if we might have another one, we might not. Who knows? We'll keep you informed or not. But if you like it, definitely leave a comment. Tell us what you liked. If you have any more questions or if you have any ideas for different topics we can do with tarot, we would take that into consideration too when we have time. But yeah, definitely, and check Melissa out on her YouTube page, which I will put in the link below.
Yeah. Come see my stuff.
Yeah, she's super fun. She has a lot of great stuff, and we're so blessed to be able to share with each other with her, and it's just great. So. And
thank you for having me, Michael. It's been awesome.
Of course. Okay, peace out, peeps.
Bye.